Your favorite song starts playing, and suddenly tiny bumps appear all over your skin. Why does your body do that? A familiar melody fills the air, and suddenly tiny bumps appear all over your skin. A shiver runs down your spine, but you are not cold, you are not scared. You are simply listening to music. So why does your body do that? What is happening in that moment when a sequence of sounds can physically change the surface of your skin? It feels like magic, but it is not random. It is a deep and ancient story written into your very biology, a physical reaction to a purely emotional experience. This curious phenomenon is not limited to just music. You might feel it during a powerful scene in a movie. The hero makes a great sacrifice. As your eyes well up, your skin prickles. Or perhaps you feel it while looking at a breathtaking piece of art, or standing on a mountaintop watching a sunset. Intense beauty, sadness, awe. Your body is reacting with a tool that is far older than any song or movie. It is a biological echo, a ghost in our machine. To understand Goosebumps, we must first travel back in time. Imagine our distant ancestors. They did not have houses with central heating, closets full of warm jackets. They were mammals living in the wild, covered in a thick coat of fur. This fur was not just for show, it was a critical tool for survival. It was their primary defense against the biting cold and a key part of their communication with the world around them. This coat of hair was their interface with the elements. This is where the story of Goosebumps truly begins. Our furry relatives had a special ability. They could make their hair stand on end. This action is called piloerection. Pilus for hair, erectus for upright. When an animal's hair stands up, it creates a thicker, fluffier coat. Two important evolutionary advantages followed. Think of a cat on a cold day, its fur looking puffier than usual. The first advantage was warmth. Fluffing their fur trapped a layer of air right next to the skin. Air is an excellent insulator. This trapped layer acted like a natural, invisible blanket, slowing down the loss of body heat. The second advantage was defense. Imagine a small animal encountering a predator. In intense fear, its body would trigger piloerection. All of its fur would stand on end instantly. The animal would appear much larger and more intimidating. The process of getting goosebumps is a beautiful example of simple biological machinery at work. It all happens at a microscopic level, right below the surface of your skin. Every single hair on your body grows out of a tiny pocket called a follicle, a hair follicle, the hair, the tiny erector pili muscle attached to it. This tiny muscle is called the erector pili, Latin for erector of the hair. It is one of the smallest muscles in your body. When your body triggers this response, your nervous system sends a signal. The signal travels to the erector pili muscles, telling them to contract. Each little muscle tightens and pulls on the base of its hair follicle. That pulling makes the hair stand up, perpendicular to the skin. It's an involuntary reflex. You can't consciously make goosebumps like flexing a bicep. The visible bump is a side effect of the muscle pulling the hair upright. The contraction also tugs the skin around the follicle. That tug creates a small indentation at the base of the hair and makes the surrounding skin pucker and rise slightly. When thousands contract together across your skin, you get the familiar bumpy texture. Goosebumps. It is the collective work of countless microscopic muscles. So when you see bumps on your arms or the back of your neck, you are watching a coordinated effort. Your autonomic nervous system, the brain's automatic control, sends the command. This command is carried out by an army of microscopic muscles, each pulling a single hair to attention. It's a remnant of a much furrier past, still working in our modern bodies. We will look at the simple mechanics happening just beneath the surface of your skin. staying warm, feeling afraid, being moved by a beautiful harmony. This is the story of why your body still speaks a language of shivers and bumps, a language that connects us to our primal past every time we are deeply moved. One of the most common and logical triggers for goosebumps is cold. Step out of a warm shower into a cool bathroom, and your skin might immediately prickle. This is your body's ancient automatic response to a sudden drop in temperature. Your internal thermostat, the hypothalamus, detects the change. It quickly sends out signals to preserve your core heat. This response is deep in our mammalian DNA, a holdover from constant survival struggles. The logic goes back to our furry ancestors. Cold exposure made erector pili muscles contract and fluff up dense fur. That trapped a layer of air against the skin, a natural insulating barrier. The air blanket cut heat loss and helped maintain internal temperature. In the wild, this could mean surviving a cold night or succumbing to hypothermia. For modern humans, this function is mostly ineffective. We have very fine, sparse body hair compared to other mammals. The tiny hairs on our arms do stand up when we get goosebumps, but they're too short and too far apart to trap much air. The insulating effect is practically zero. Now we rely on other strategies like shivering. Rapid muscle contractions generate heat, and more importantly, putting on clothes. Yet the reflex remains. The wiring is still there. Your body gets the signal and carries out the old instruction. Raise the hairs. It's an evolutionary relic. The system remains, though its original purpose is mostly obsolete. The goosebumps you feel are a direct link to a past, when a thick coat of fur was our best defense against the cold. Cold is not the only primal trigger for goosebumps. The other major driver is fear. Imagine an animal peacefully grazing when it suddenly hears the snap of a twig nearby. In an instant, its body floods with adrenaline. Its heart pounds, its senses sharpen, and its hair stands on end. This is the fight-or-flight response, a suite of automatic physiological changes that prepare the body for immediate, decisive action. Piloerection is a key visual component of this powerful survival instinct. Making the hair stand up makes an animal look bigger. It makes the animal look fluffier and more formidable. A cornered cat arching its back and hissing with its fur on end. This sudden change in appearance can be a powerful deterrent. It is a non-verbal signal to a potential attacker, a warning that says, "I am not easy prey." For our ancestors, this visual bluff could have been a lifesaver, giving them a crucial extra second to escape or discouraging a predator from attacking in the first place. In modern humans, this same mechanism is still fully intact. When you are startled by a sudden loud noise or find yourself in a genuinely frightening situation, your brain's fear center, the amygdala, goes on high alert. It signals the release of adrenaline, the same hormone that prepares you to fight or flee. This surge of adrenaline is what causes your heart to race, your palms to sweat, and yes, your tiny erector pili muscles to contract, giving you goosebumps. Your hair standing on end does not make you look any more intimidating today. Just like with the cold response, the physical effect is negligible. Now we arrive at the heart of the mystery. Why does something as abstract and beautiful as music trigger a primal survival reflex? The answer lies in how our brains process emotion. Surprise. The neural pathways that music travels through in our brain can overlap with the very same circuits responsible for our reactions to sudden, unexpected, emotionally charged events. Your brain can interpret a powerful musical moment as something significant, demanding your full attention, like a sudden noise in the dark. Think about the structure of a song that gives you chills. It often involves an element of surprise, a sudden change in volume, a quiet passage that erupts into a loud chorus, the unexpected entry of a new instrument, a soaring voice. a harmonic shift that resolves in a deeply satisfying way. These moments violate our expectations. Our brains constantly predict what will happen next. When music subverts that prediction beautifully, it can trigger a strong emotional and physiological response. That response can include a release of dopamine, the brain's pleasure chemical. It can also cause a jolt from the sympathetic nervous system. That jolt activates the same fight-or-flight pathway used for fear. It's not that your brain thinks the music is a threat. Rather, the music creates a state of high emotional arousal. It taps the same system that says, "Pay attention, something important is happening." This emotional peak can be read by ancient brain regions as a trigger event, causing the release of adrenaline and the contraction of the erector pili muscles. The result, that shiver down your spine and the goosebumps on your skin. That's why intensely emotional movie scenes can have the same effect. A tearful goodbye, a moment of heroic triumph. Both can create a surge of empathy so powerful it activates this primal system. You're not in danger. You're experiencing a profound emotional event. Your body uses the tools it has. One of them is piloerection. A beautiful quirk, a system once for predators, now signals beauty and connection. In our modern lives, the original functions of goosebumps have become largely redundant. We have moved from the wild plains into climate-controlled homes and cities. We no longer rely on a coat of fur to protect us from the elements. When it gets cold, we do not fluff up our hair for insulation. We reach for a sweater, turn up the thermostat, or wrap our hands around a warm mug of coffee. Our technology and our behavior have rendered the thermal function of piloerection almost completely obsolete. Similarly, the defensive function of making ourselves look bigger is no longer relevant in the same way. The primary threats we face today are rarely physical predators that can be intimidated by a display of puffed-up hair. While the fight-or-flight response itself is still crucial for navigating modern dangers, like swerving to avoid a car accident, the goosebump component of that response serves no practical purpose in the encounter. We are a stark contrast to our furry animal cousins, for whom this reaction remains a vital survival tool. So, why do we still have this trait? Evolution does not always remove features just because they are no longer useful. If a trait is not actively harmful or costly to maintain, it can persist for millions of years as a neutral relic. The tiny erector pili muscles and the nerves that control them do not require much energy. They do not get in the way of other bodily functions. Because they cause no harm, there has been no strong evolutionary pressure to eliminate them. So, goosebumps may no longer protect us from the cold or scare away our enemies. Their original practical purpose has faded into the evolutionary past. But does that mean they are meaningless? Far from it. Today, they have taken on a new and perhaps more profound role. They have become a physical manifestation of our deepest emotional experiences. They are a signpost from our body to our conscious mind, a signal that says, "This matters. This is a moment of awe. This is beauty. This is deep connection." When a piece of music sends a shiver down your spine, the goosebumps are a testament to the power of art. They are proof that a collection of sounds can reach deep into your brain. They touch the very same systems that evolved to keep you alive. They are a bridge between our abstract, emotional world and our concrete, physical selves. They remind us that we are not just thinking machines. We are feeling animals. Our bodies respond to beauty. Our bodies respond to danger. This reaction also serves as a form of social signal. When we experience something powerful in a group, at a concert, in a movie theater, during a moving speech, the shared experience of getting the chills can create a powerful sense of bonding. It is a non-verbal way of communicating, "I am feeling this too." This shared physiological response can strengthen our sense of community and empathy. It reinforces the social ties that have been so crucial to human success. It connects us not only to our past, but to each other. The next time your favorite song starts playing and you feel that familiar prickle on your skin, take a moment to appreciate it. Notice the tiny bumps